welcome to Nexus Gaming Series. DB Smiley here, and I'm bringing you a couple replays from Division C East. We're going to kick off here with Game 1, PrimeApes versus LuBu. I actually don't know how many games this series goes to. I did take a look at the map ban, so it appears that PrimeApes banned out Dragonshire and Sky Temple, and on the side of LuBu, they banned out Tomb and Volskaya. The first map, and the file unfortunately doesn't tell me who picked it first, but the first map will be Battlefield of Eternity, so we can go ahead and just jump into it right away. PrimeApes versus LuBu, Game 1. Gonna go ahead and get this going here. Sorry, my headset was acting up there. But let's go ahead and introduce, for the first time ever, PrimeApes. On the left side, it's going to be G-Prime. Played with him a long time ago on the Rainer. Hiva going to be on Alarak. 11th on the Stukov. Frozen on the ETC. And Joshua Scott up at the top on Leoric. And over on the side of LuBu, it's going to be Streakwing on Greymane. Alan Hicks on the Diablo. Bandit on Li Ming. Sukaden going to be on the Anduin. And Spartacus up in the top on the Imperious. Level 1 talents, as we always like to do around here. Take a look. Diablo going to go with that Soul Shield to try to mitigate out some of that Alarak damage. Looks like there was a pause there, but everyone is back and ready to go. Anduin choosing to go with bold strategy. I personally think with the latest round of changes to Anduin, his Imperious actually flanks down on the Frozen. Going to be able to power slide out of that one, though. That W build with Renew might be the way to go. Bold strategy still works with the W build. Actually, it can work quite nicely, in fact, because you take Moral Compass at 4 and then the CDR at 13. You can get a lot of extra kind of auto attacks out that way. Otherwise, both teams poking back and forth. There's Alarak going with the telekinesis onto Diablo. Root comes in on the G-Prime. Follow-up damage just not really there yet. Up in the top, Leo, Imperious, kind of playing a little game of ring around the minions as the minions kill each other. Leo certainly wins that battle on wave clear, and actually, if Spartacus misses charges like that, Leo will win that fight over time. That said, anymore with the current patch, you can't really do anything with that win. Still 4v4 in the bot. Looks like the Anduin team is actually out-sustaining the Stukov team, which is admittedly a bit of a surprise. Not normally what you'd see, but a good volley of damage there coming out from the Alarak once again. Diablo, currently just the 21 souls from the minions farmed. It can be hard. While Diablo's good on this map for the objective spaces being really tight choke points, a lot of options for wall bangs like you just saw there. The problem is if he loses his souls, it takes him that much longer to get them back because there are so few minions. Now you can mitigate that by taking the souls talent on W at 4. As we see an early cleanse there, Alan Hicks just hanging around a bit too long. Taking a lot of damage from that Alarak. Bruiser Camp's now getting pinged. Both teams wanting to jump onto them. We're seeing Spartacus jump on to LuBu's, G-Prime jumping onto PrimeApes by himself. Does have Exterminator. Not sure if that's 100% going to be enough. He's taking a lot of damage here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this. Yeah, Rainer can't solo that camp that early. And now that is going to reset. It's starting the game, yeah. But basically completely reset. Only just now. Team heading towards it. Alan Hicks checks the bot camp. Sees that no monkeys are on it. Now moving into the bottom objective right away with that Greymane. Greymane getting a big head start. Rainer, of course, has extremely good burn as well. I mean, you can see the health bar moving whenever Rainer auto attacks, but still, gonna be LuBu winning this one just with the earlier start. Let's see how PrimeApes wants to play this, if they send anyone to defend or if they just go straight burn. Looks like they're just gonna go straight burn. Leo, in the meantime, clearing up the top. Bottom camps started to be cleared up by Alan Hicks and company, but they actually don't finish. This Bruiser is still alive and is gonna keep spawning dogs. And with that, actually, PrimeApes is going to kind of come back, and despite being down a bit at halftime, actually win, you know, not a lot of health, but for a first Immortal, not too bad, not too shabby. This Immortal will go top. Looks like we are going to see a rotation bottom on the side of PrimeApes. This is kind of, I think, the new way to play this map. Send someone to get the soak, but otherwise push away from the objective. Just because the objective, you know, it's not going to do too much with the whole enemy team defending. So now you're seeing a 1v4 defense. Now they need to just step up and finish that top tower. And if you step up towards this higher side, you can still finish that tower without taking shots from the bottom. It really is only one auto attack away. I think they wasted a lot of time that they could have gotten a lot of value off of. And that tower only just now going down. I know the towers are strong, but it teaches you to push at towers from below for the bottom tower and from above for the top tower. Just to make sure that you're not taking unnecessary shots. Said Immortal polished off. Let's take a look at the damage report top. It did manage to get walls, but otherwise not a super productive first Immortal, which it almost never is. There's ETC with the power slide. Alarak is silenced, gonna get the cleanse from Suikoden, and gonna get that extra little bit of movement from the cleanse helping out. Now pushing on to this bottom objective, and Alarak is just really trucking people at this point. Currently at 98 on Sadism. Now with the Alarak, you gain a ton of damage, but because of the nature of his trait, you actually lose a lot in the macro game. We'll see if this Greymane comp can punish that. That said, Raynor does, of course, help out with that, with the Exterminator pick. Alarak, excuse me, ETC very low there. Alarak, though, manages to truck out a lot of damage. Kind of the double silence with the Alarak and then the Stukov. Getting a lot of value there. Now it looks like we're seeing a rotation top. They're wanting to get into position for the burn early. Might move on to Spoticus here. Now it looks like they're just rotating in a bit early. I think that was a bit too early, though. You don't want to just be standing around here doing nothing. Because notice that LuBu got that last bit of wave soak, and they're getting bottom. Now they had the advantage. Their Immortal was closer to the 4-man, but nonetheless, you know, you lose a wave of minions down here on the side of PrimeApes, and pretty dead even. Just a very, very slight, about a 350, no, about 400 HP lead. But now it looks like we're going to maybe see a defense here. G-Prime not burning, ETC power sliding in, they want this. Actually boops people out of the silence there, a little bit of a mis-synergy. That said, Greymane separated out there, he does go down. Now Leoric all over this Diablo, but Diablo just so tanky at this point with his Soul's Quest done. Great cleanse there by Suikoden, because Diablo was about to go down, and that would have cost his souls, would have set them back tremendously in this game. So Suikoden showing some nifty cleanses so far in this one. But yeah, going with that W build we talked about. I think right now with the CDR talent at level 13, I think that is absolutely the way to build Anduin at the moment. Spikes really hard at level 20. I can tell you that. Variant's Legacy, always a good talent. Both teams grabbing their bruiser camp. They both managed to tag them after the objective. Very, very light shielding on this Immortal, but looks like this time PrimeApes wants to push in bot. Now this tower has already gotten the Immortal shields down, along with the help of Li Ming and Greymane. This fort still very, very healthy. The Hyperion comes out maybe a little bit far away. Yamato Cannon will help them siege up. This Immortal, though, very low on health. It is quivering. Raynor gonna, though, be able to get the finish. There's Alarak once again comboing onto the Diablo. And the reason for those combos, it may think like, oh, well, that's silly. It's not gonna get a kill. Is he is stacking with Show of Force his Sadism right now, and the goal is to get that Sadism nice and high. Engage there, on to ETC, Light Bomb is available, APOC now being dropped, G-Prime has nowhere to go, and he is done. Flailing Swipe, only trying to peel out 11th. Diablo, though, has the charge into the flip, great telekinesis to buy some space, though. Spoticus comes down, takes a tower shot, has to back up, so no further kills. But a great couple of kills there onto the members of PrimeApes by LuBu. They've lost both the Immortals so far. They're down a fort. Let's see what they can do with this brief penalty box window. The power play, if you will, to steal the term from hockey. They're trying to push up into this bottom. Haven't really made much progress. Meanwhile, minions actually have done a fair amount of damage up here. Leo channels the point before Spartacus can get there, and now has the Entomb. He's going for Spartacus. Spartacus with the cheeky little Q over the wall. Good decision to hold that, not to use it aggressively for an engage. And does escape with his life. Rotation coming top to help clear up this Siege Giant. Nobody's staying bottom at the moment. Not really too much to defend, but it is going to enable PrimeApes to just grab this bottom wave and start rotating themselves. Leo just zoning off the members. LuBu from the middle. Aggressive positioning here from G Prime and company. They are going to start working down this Immortal here. There's the stun onto Alarak onto the back line. Hyper focus. There's the great counter strike though to nullify the light bomb. And Anduin gets separated out. They still lost DTC there though with the Mosh in his pocket. Now Alarak trying to run away. There's the engage onto Leo. Meanwhile down here G Prime in a full retreat. Angelic Armaments, cheeky juke there. G Prime does survive, so only losing ETC through all of that. That will enable them to mount some kind of defense here. Zugov just a little bit late with these flailing swipes, it seems, though. Maybe trying to hold it for, like, the last second, you know, not wanting to disrupt the offense. But I think into this Diablo comp, it's significantly better to use that flailing swipe early and not regret it than to try to hold it and maybe risk regretting it. Now looking for the engage. Diablo goes in. Leoric Unstoppable's out the flip combo. Side of the Discord Strike does hit Streakwing, but he's still alive. Mosh used doesn't really gain any value, as it was onto Diablo, no follow-up. Now the retreat the other way. It's the second death there onto Diablo. Flailing Swipe used to disengage that very well. They're still hanging around here, though, and this is a 3v5. There's the stun. Light Bomb going to be used. Light Bomb, though, Counter-Strike, excuse me, just a little bit early. And that is Alarak dead, and his sadism reset back down to 90. That's a huge loss on the side of PrimeApes. And LuBu with a big chance to take control of this game. Raynor has done a ton of damage to the top Immortal, though. Leo trying to get the finish, now having to walk away and stay alive for the time being. Li Ming burning the bottom here. You'd prefer almost to see Greymane on it. Hyperion coming out. They really want to get this Immortal. It would be their third straight, and they do. Now the focus on to Suikoden. Huge spear on the turnaround. APOC used. Gonna catch Leoric in the stun. Diablo just unable to push through that ETC. There's the big Silence and Doom combo. And that is going to take out two. Give me three. Yes, three members on the side of LuBu. Leoric does go down to a Diablo charge, but now Diablo's not going to get out of this. And that is Soul's reset. And that turned around hard. Oh my goodness. PrimeApes. Huge Entomb Silence combo. Secures 3. Diablo managed to get a trade kill on Leoric, but honestly, a trade kill on Leoric at the cost of your souls is not a trade that Diablo is going to be happy with. He's going to want some takesies, backsies on that one. And he is not going to get them. Alan Hicks defending here, trying to just buy maybe a little bit of damage. It's actually a strategy now to stand in a place where Raynor's AoE damage will actually hurt you when he's attacking the tower, thus getting tower on it, aggro on him. Imperius looking for the flank. He wants this fight. He finds ETC. Light Bomb combo comes in, but the Flailing Swipe is on time there. 11th managing to get out of that one. Meanwhile, bottom lane pushing in. There is a catapult actually doing quite a bit of damage to this top tower in the bottom lane. Leo, all this while, grabbing the siege camp here in the bottom. Top siege camp going to be grabbed by PrimeApes, so they're starting to paint the map blue a little bit. Leo, is he gonna? He was just checking Bruiser. Doesn't want to start it now. it is too early, and they could definitely get a lot of value with it off their bot lane. Leo just scouting at the moment. Sees all 5, rotates away. Now, maybe looking for this engage here. He has the Spooky Ghost. There's the Entomb. Silence tries to come in, but the APOC kind of forces Stukov to break it there, and it's actually Leoric going to be the first to fall. ETC goes down next. Light Bomb didn't really get the value there, but G-Prime getting absolutely focused. Flailing Swipe now being used. Stukov, though, is dismounted, needs to be careful, needs to avoid the wall bang. Li Ming wanting this chase, but it looks like they should get out of this. No, 11th might still be in trouble. He does indeed get out. Bruiser Camp going to be picked up here. Going to push down into this bottom lane. Won't really get a ton of value. This is more about a stall tactic to give them more or less halftime on the side of LuBu. So G-Prime and company are going to have to push in and take this. I keep calling them G-Prime and company. I know it's PrimeApes. Apologies for that. I just am familiar with G-Prime, the player. Anduin letting everyone on his team know the Light Bomb combo's ready, and they love to engage with that Diablo charge Light Bomb. Makes it really hard for anyone to escape. Leo onto the back line, though, trying to be disruptive. Now, actually, Leoric being charged almost should not have flipped him away there, but still going to get the kill all the same. Now, burning this down, they got to Immortal at about half health, but they are going to have to disengage this. Mosh and Hyperion are not available. There's Diablo, goes in, looks for Alarak. Alarak with the counter-strike. Once again, uses it well to avoid the Light Bomb, but just completely separated from the rest of his team. And now Raynor is in a world of hurt. Li Ming comes in, gets the pop with the reset orb. And that is 3 dead on the side of PrimeApes. Just unable to retreat there, and that will be LuBu winning their first Immortal of the game. Keep in mind, though, they do have this catapult pushing in the top lane, have a catapult pushing in the bot lane, so they really can't all in off this. So now, top Immortal, about half shields. Raynor and Alarak down for a bit, so there's not really a great defense available here. More just harassment and maybe try to bait the enemy under towers. XP Globe's getting grabbed there. Slight XP lead on the side of LuBu. Not consequential yet. Leoric using that ghost to reduce damage, but perhaps stayed too long, just took too much free damage. And that is Leo going down, and Flailing Swipe used with the Mosh is actually going to leave ETC out to dry. And you hate to see it because you want to use the Flailing Swipe to disengage their combo. Now Alarak separated out again. He's going to drop. And things going from bad to worse here for PrimeApes. Down 6 to 14 kills, but it's been these last 7 kills that have just been so impactful, have completely changed the tone and tenor of this game. Leo will be back up in 8, but ETC and Alarak will be down for a long time, and it looks like they might want to turn their attention to the core. Shields starting to drop. This Immortal won't be around too much longer. Raynor doing a good job nuking it down. Silence there onto Alan Hicks. He is now separated out with the Entomb. Clean's going to be used, and it looks like they're going to disengage this. They did manage to grab about 54%, actually, and still counting 49% onto the core, so that's not too bad. I mean, any more you think, yeah, it's worth getting 50%. I mean, in the earlier iterations of this game, everyone would try to end the game there, and the caster would make fun of them. Now I look at them like, yeah, that's good. You walked in, you got 50%. You created a win condition where a team fight, no matter almost anywhere on the map, can be turned into a game-ending push. Bottom lane, though, is still just so healthy. So it still limits you because you have to rotate through the top where your win positions are in terms of taking a team fight. Still 50% on the core. It's a lot down. Greymane, of course, always very good at burning the core when he's able to kind of just go in uncontested. Now LuBu looking to push bottom here with the level 20. But now, recognizing this situation, the camp is available. There's the spear with the APOC. Doesn't really catch anyone. Light Bomb, though, now going to be used to catch ETC. ETC wallbang. He's going to have to power slide out. Diablo tries to go in with the teleport blink kill. Doesn't manage to get it. So both teams disengage, but that is going to be the Bruiser camp picked up by LuBu. It's going to deny pushing this bot lane. It's going to help counteract the catapult pressure. Actually, which is now equalized because of the fort loss. And you're going to see LuBu rotate into an immediate burn with the Greymane. This should work out well. Level 20 here. Of course, as we saw, Diablo taking the Hellgate teleport. We got cleave damage being chosen. Cleave damage on his melee attacks. On the side of Greymane, we got Anduin taking Variant's Legacy, as we talked about earlier. Didn't take Holy Nova at 16, still going Inner Focus. I mean, you know, Inner Focus is a really, really good talent. But otherwise, the 13 the W talents here are pretty core to Anduin's build, I think, now. Now, Ming started Orb build, but chose to go with Mirror Ball here, I think, to just help with the Immortal burn. And even though G Prime's team eventually got onto this objective, still a very healthy shielded Immortal. Going to be pushing bottom. Leoric now hearthing back. And looks like we might see a backdoor attempt here. They do have 3 Katas stacked up. And now they're going for Raynor. If they can get Raynor, this would absolutely be huge. G Prime in so much trouble, and down he goes. There's the APOC. ETC, though, power slides through, disrupting. But the Mosh and the swipe into the Mosh, still frozen, goes down, despite the huge Mosh. Death Mosh, though, going to catch 3. The Catapult's actually helping to kill ETC with the Li Ming there. And that should be the game as LuBu looks to take game number 1. Alarak going in with the Deadly Charge. There's the Light Bomb. Counter-Strike used once again to nullify it, but not going to be able to get any kills with the Catapults. That will be it. And LuBu going to take game number 1. We'll get set up for game number 2. We'll see you back here in just a second. Stay tuned. I didn't have sound on. Apologies. Fixing now. Sorry about that. Sorry. Headset died, and I didn't know. My headset decides it's going to turn itself off from time to time. But looking right now that going to be a little bit of channel progress heading over to the side of PrimeApes and LuBu. I'm aware there's no sound. That was actually addressed, and there's a 30-second delay. So, cool story. I don't need multiple posts. Thank you. There is, as always, a 30-second delay. Although, in fairness, I don't know why there's a 30-second delay. It's a replay. Oh well, whatever. I guess it's just too much of a pain to turn it off. Currently, about a 30% channel progress on the side of PrimeApes. But just now, LuBu going to start getting some channel progress of their own. Now the attention going to focus down here on the bottom. Diablo currently on the point. There's a smash variant. Yeah, kind of a triple warrior hyper carry Kael'thas. And Kael'thas did go with the Mana Addict. So he's not going to get that extra damage from Convection Kappa. That's a terrible talent. If you ever take Convection, I hate you. But still, channel progress has been interrupted on the top by Yrel. But Spartacus will win that 1v1. Yrel going to have to actually back up here. And that will turn into even more channel progress. Joanna does manage to get onto the point here and nullify that out at about 58%. But Yrel is going to need help top. Artanis really losing that 1v1 at the moment. Jaina stepping up, trucking a ton of damage. Now G Prime wants that finish. Gonna get turned around with the Colossus smash. Dodges the root. Now Strinkwing's gonna need a cleanse there from Suganen to get out, but the cocktail finds its target. And down goes Varian. First kill of the match heading over the members of PrimeApes, and it looks like G Prime wanting to head top here and maybe help out a little bit. Both Kael'thas and Jaina fighting over globes. Both doing a good job stacking their globes, though. Both at 10 right now, only 4 minutes into the game. Gonna take a bit, and actually Greymane does pull the trigger on that invade. Now gonna Hearth. Yrel is gonna be able to cap top. And this is always a tough situation, what to do when your solo laner dies on this map. Looks like they're gonna double down on getting control of bottom again. So only managed to give up 8%. Pardon me. But now focus on the Bandit. Joanna in the backline. Dugov throws the silence onto Alan Hicks. Not really able to blow him up just yet. G Prime has rejoined the fight. Now looking like he wants to cap the bottom. Should be able to get control of it. Alan Hicks does not get onto the point in time. 42%. Joe now stepping on. Diablo flipping off the point. Iron Skin used to kind of stay in contact. But there goes Varian trying to split onto the Jaina, and he's going to secure the kill with that living bomb from Kael'thas, getting off that last little bit of damage. And so there you see that power of the Colossus match to turn a fight. And both teams dead even at 58% right now. Greymane's starting to go to town on these Siege Giants, or the Fire Bats, excuse me. It is the Siege camp, but it is the Fire Bats. Now, flip from Diablo onto G Prime. Silence is actually going to put Kael'thas in a little bit of a bad spot. Living Bomb there onto Frozen. He's going to spread it to G Prime, so not the best awareness of dealing with the Kael'thas Living Bomb there. These Fire Bats are going to be up to help defend this Zerg wave, which is healthier, of course, on the side of LuBu. Their first Ultralisk about to go down. Meanwhile, Kael'thas has come up top, and they're already destroying this wave top. So 3v4 on the bottom, but Alan Hicks is going to have to drop back the tap. Once again, went with the Soul Shield. This time to deal with the Jaina. They grab a globe. Neither Jaina nor KT fully stacked yet. Yrel currently getting focused here. Now, Artana's actually done a good job stacking this Protector of Ire, and now actually quite low is Joshua Scott. Artanis has 159 stacks, so that's about 16% bonus damage on his auto attack. Not shabby. Not shabby at all. A lot of extra damage. Diablo now. Solo clearing this bottom lane. Does have souls. Lion's Claw, by the way. Lion's Maw, excuse me. Almost done on the side of Varian. So that Q is actually really going to start hurting. Hive up, pushing with Frozen. Going to clear his objective, and then Hearth for full health and mana. Artanis just saying, like, I want stacks. I want stacks. Firebat camp, though, pushing up against this wall. Going to get cleaned up. Here comes, however, the Bruiser camp in the bottom. Now, this is arguably one of the weaker Bruiser camps. The Raven doesn't really do a whole lot. This does not provide spell armor. Rather, it provides vision. Now, it does reveal stealth heroes, but I'll be honest, stealth heroes kind of out of the meta here. Not really picked very often anymore. You occasionally see a Zeratul, but I don't, and you know, you get the Samuro players who are really good at that one hero, but you know, I can't remember the last time I've seen a Valeera in a game, and Nova is still considered a troll pick in most situations. So Spartacus trying to clear up the Bruiser camp on the other side. Bottom objective, it looks like LuBu already wanting to set up to kind of have the initiative of being on the point. They're now up in that bush, gonna get spotted and blinded by Joanna. Silence onto Sugan in the back, but he's gonna get out. Alan Hicks now getting focused. There's a light bomb. Does manage to reinitiate onto Kael'thas, but you know, the Gravity Lapse was there, nothing else really there to punish the Stukov. Neither team has gained control of the objective yet, but it looks like, and with Yrel actually quite a bit healthier here, looks like we are going to see PrimeApes get some channel progress. That said, Artanis 1v1 Specialist, but down to the bottom, APOC is used. That's going to secure the kill onto Stukov. Now Blessed Shield being used just to disengage this. Ring of Frost catches two. Varian is low, gets the Protected, by the way, and does survive that. Took shield wall there. That does reduce his mobility, but it also makes him harder to finish. And so despite the death, it's actually going to be PrimeApes controlling this bottom objective still, as they're at 36%. Meanwhile, here in the bottom lane, still being cleared up. Diablo wanted to focus now onto the Joe. There's the armor reduction, but shield was up. Firebat's now walking down. Stukov has rejoined the team. We'll be able to heal people up pretty quickly. Now focused there onto Diablo. Light Bomb used on the flip. Joe does get the Iron Skin off in time to save her own life. Objectives were briefly controlled by LuBu, but only managed to grab 8% there. Yrel about to recap top. And so this should be more channeled percentage on the side. Ooh, good knockback to prevent Artanis from getting onto the point. So 78% and counting, and Yrel and Artanis now brawling, and all Yrel needs to do is just continue to knock Artanis off of this point, and PrimeApes holds it long enough to get 100%. So we are going to see up in the top just a really tiny wave. That's what an 8% wave looks like, if you were wondering. Down here in the bottom, here come the Bangling Armada with those great Ultralisks that really help tank the objective well. Sugana takes a lot of damage from that silence, has to back up. Focus now coming in. Should be noted, Sugana instead choosing to go with Blessed Recovery over the W shield. So really expecting those bursts of damage from Jaina to need to be mitigated out. There's the Blessed Shield looking for the engage onto Alan Hicks. The great Ring of Frost follow, and the Light Bomb is not going to even connect, and that's going to be 4 kills. As Bandit goes down, Diablo losing souls there, arguably the worst loss of that. And that should be enough for PrimeApes to get this front wall, and even if Diablo did flip over the gate, wouldn't matter. The gate's about to drop, and with no one up for 8 seconds, this should be the keep going down here. Stukov does have the flailing, massive shove. So did not take flailing swipe this game, but still going to be enough to kill this before the members of LuBu are up in time to react. And that is first keep of the game going to PrimeApes. Now remember, they won first keep last time. And they proceeded, they won the first keep. They actually also had a fork down. And yet, they weren't able to win the game. Or did they get a keep? Actually, no, I take that back. I don't think they got a keep last game. No, I take that back. They did not get a keep last game. They did get both forks, though. They had a lead. And then they lost it off a couple bad team fights that didn't go their way. Point being, this game's not over yet. Especially with the new core. Now, I will say that the Braxis core, not very strong at all. Actually, rather a weak core. So, take it for what you will. You just need to dodge circles. They only do damage. And I say only do damage in terms of they don't do armor reduction, they don't do stuns. Nothing like Dragonshire or Cursed Hollow. So you can end here more easily than you can on a map like Cursed Hollow. I will say that Sky Temple, easily the worst core in the game. Sky Temple almost feels like a joke compared to the other cores. Doesn't even do damage, it's just like, stay out of tornadoes. Alright, you win. Here's a focus now. Artanis is not in this fight. Separation onto Alan Hicks. Light Bomb trying to be used, but the Iron Skin from Joanna going to nullify it. That is Diablo going down. Greymane all over Varian. Jaina ultimately going to get the finish there. Purifier Beam being used, trying to get some damage, but Artanis is right now 1v3. Not the best outcome for him. And he's going to drop. That is 3 kills. Looks like we're going to see a boss play to try to open up this top lane here.
Looks like the beacons are reactivating.
Greymane now moving up, a big source of their damage. Bruiser Camp will be pushing in the bottom in the meanwhile with 2 Katas behind it. Although I will say that Firebat is next to dead. 23, 17, 12, 6. It is dead. Not a lot of health. Firebat's though going to be grabbed top, and those pushing with the boss will do a lot of damage. And, you know, I would like to actually see PrimeApes push with this, but they do want to channel at least one of the objectives to make sure not losing channel progress. Let's see how they play this. Looks like they're dropping back for taps, and then they're going to rejoin. Nobody channeling at the moment for either team. This fort is already forfeit. It will go down. Question is, can you really do any damage off the back of it? They're working down those fire bats. They got one down. The other, barely with a sliver of health, will die to these keep towers before it gets close. Artanis going to help out a bit. Diablo's still in the bottom lane. Now Hearthing to rejoin the team. Yrel is going back to channel the objective, though. Now there's a swap, trying to engage on the Frozen. Has the Iron Skin, going to be able to walk out of there. They are going to give up this boss to get control of the objectives, but I think it's a smart play. They got the keep wall down for the most part. Now Spartacus leading the charge towards his top point. Finds the swap onto Jaina, and there's the Light Bomb. Jaina will absolutely drop here. Gets the Ring of Frost. Can they turn around any damage? Ice Block was used to buy some time. They actually turn around and get 2 kills off that Ring of Frost. G-Prime makes it 3. Now Diablo and Streakwing both trying to disengage. Varian is so low, as is Diablo. There's the knockback. Greymane dives in, gets the finish, and that is a 4-for-1 trade. Great Death Rattle Ring of Frost there from the Jaina. That is going to enable this push here, this keep going down. There's a full Zerg wave coming. They are going to go ahead and take this keep, so the Zerg wave moves on, but as you'll see in a second, this is not a particularly strong core. You know, you see the missiles come out. They do a percentage of damage, but they're fairly slow. And you can see that at their worst, they're not doing a ton of damage. That said, a lot of damage being turned around onto 11th there from the Artanis. You'll see, by the way, a little crosshair to indicate who they are on. They are on Yrel at the moment. Ooh, Frozen might actually drop, does drop to the laser, but now there's 3 very healthy Ultralisks on the core. Phoenix being used, trying to get some zoning here. Yrel gonna move back into this objective, has Ardent Defender and uses it. Focus now onto 11th, but Greymane needs to be who they focus. The core goes down, and PrimeApes gonna take game number 2 here. As I just realized I had my scenes not synced up. There we go. So that will be game 2. Head over to the side of PrimeApes. So we are going to go into a game 3. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Alright, moving into game number 3 between LuBu and PrimeApes. It's going to be Infernal Shrines is the map. We're going to go ahead, jump into this one here. Introducing the teams once again. On the left side, it's going to be G Prime this time on Tassadar, Hiva on the Maiev, 11th on Malfurion, Frozen on ETC, and up in the top, Joshua Scott on the Sonya. And over on the right, LuBu lost game 2, going to try to get back into this series. It's going to be Streakwing healing this time on the Lucio. That puts Suikoden on the Rainer. Alan Hicks taking on Joanna. Spartacus once again on the Artanis. That's going to leave Bandit is on Kael'thas once again. Looking at the level 1s here. As I will get rid of that bottom left corner thing here in a second. Tassadar going with that Q build, which seems to be the preferred build. Block Party coming out from ETC. Normally you think, why would you take a block town into a Lucio? The key is because it's only one stack, it doesn't make a huge difference, since any hero could break it anyway. But if it can mitigate out some of the Rainer damage, it's still helpful. Both teams clear the first wave at about the same time. Slight rotational advantage, though, because of the Lucio on to the side of LuBu. Hayev gonna grab the Lucio, but actually get the Living Bomb and spread it to Malfurion there. Sonya going with the block talent. I do think that actually is a mistake, because this talent relies on having really 3 charges stored up of block, and Lucio can just break all 3. And Artanis, a decent auto attacker as well. Once again, going with that auto attack talent. 14 stacks so far. Siege Camp has been grabbed by Maiev. On the side of PrimeApes, gets grabbed very quickly, thanks to the Rainer Kael'thas on the side of LuBu. Excuse me, having some trouble swallowing my beer there. Don't know what caused that. That said, right now the Khazra's on the side of LuBu, or excuse me, on the side of PrimeApes. Did have an advantage. Still 2 Khazras standing though, thanks to the assist from the rest of the members of LuBu. Clearing that up. Patient down to bottom. Bottom camp currently being grabbed by PrimeApes. This is going to get spotted out, however. Zoning route going to be dropped, but now they really don't have anything to contest this, and this will be a camp steal, and wisely giving that up on the side of PrimeApes, recognizing, hey, look, this ain't us, this ain't our fight. Iva tries to go in to get the pull onto Kael'thas, misses the tether. And now, rotational advantage, still favoring LuBu. They have a very slight XP lead. Sonya rotates down for the double soak, but now getting chased by the Lucio. Rest of the team's going to disengage that, but this will be some minions here. Oh, no, ETC's actually going to collect all the XP globes, so nothing really lost there. Bruiser Camp now being grabbed by both teams, although LuBu with an advantage, but in this situation, provided they get this down quickly, it's actually better to be a little bit later with this Bruiser Camp, as then you can fight it closer to your towers. Get the advantage there. Although vision control over this bottom objective is vital, or this top objective is vitally important. Sonya trying to find somewhere to disarm that Living Bomb, but whole team arrives at the same time, so had to be a bit creative with the retreat angle there. Now, Kael'thas focusing on this wave along with Artanis. You want to clear this minion wave even during the Shrine, because vision control over the bottom entry is just so vitally important. The bottom entry being the only flanking angle. So I do like that LuBu's committing to getting vision first. They're giving up a little bit in terms of minions to try to secure the longer term win. And you're seeing PrimeApes react to that here. So this is both teams kind of highly aware of what needs to happen, but that said, Rainer getting stunned. ETC, though, actually going to boop Rainer to safety. Maiev and G-Prime both rather low at the moment. Hiva barely going to get out of there. Sonya trying to whirlwind to get away. And PrimeApes, while they have a 10 skeletal minion lead, have a lot of problems right now, as this Kael'thas Living Bomb is really making it hard for them to engage through these tight chokes. And now you're seeing LuBu starting to catch up and actually take a lead in the skeletons. 30 to 28. There's a power slide trying to separate out Artanis, but rest of the team there was on Joanna, and so that miscommunication ultimately going to cost them, and this will be a Mortar Punisher headed over to the side of LuBu. And you know, it all kind of started with that vision control. Once you see PrimeApes lose vision, they have to back up. Now they're in a tight choke. They're trying to get back through their fort. They got to dodge Kael'thas. They got to disarm living bombs. Makes it hard, and we're seeing LuBu playing this, I think, very intelligently. Now rotating, trying to get some pressure here in the mid, away from the objective. Now they're going to steal this siege camp. Top wall, though, still standing. So that Punisher really didn't get a lot. And, you know, I get the idea of wanting to push away from the objective, but you got to actually get value, and they really didn't get any value. I mean, they stole a siege camp, but the siege camps aren't that critical on this map. They're strong. They do good siege damage, but, you know, arguably the weakest siege camp of the game still. And so it got buffed a while back, but still generally a weaker camp. If you leave it completely alone, it can get value, but, you know, the mid lane camps on this map just are not, you know, you typically see wins through the top or wins through the bottom. More so than wins through the mid, just because, you know, this map's a lot about getting a lot of edge macro value. You force the enemy team to rotate top, you go bottom. You force them to rotate bottom, you go top. Can't really do that with the mid lane, so not a lot of games I see end through mid. Although, of course, the strongest lane is whatever lane the Punisher is going to spawn next in. And that is indeed going to be here in the middle. So worth keeping that in mind. Fight taking place now over this bottom camp. ETC getting very low. Gets the unstoppable from the mouth, but it's not enough. And ETC is going to drop to that Kael'thas damage. The chance PrimeApes winning that situation, or excuse me, not PrimeApes, LuBu winning that situation, they're going to turn that into yet another kill off the task wall onto Tassadar, actually. They thought they had Raynor, they weren't able to get it down. So LuBu now with level 10 advantage. You see the Hyperion, you see the Sound Barrier, you obviously saw Blessed Shield just a second ago. Purifier Beam, gonna be the choice from Artanis, who is right now trying to snipe this tower. Now on the retreat, Sonya gives up the chase. Sonya not yet picking a level 10. Not clear if we're going to get the Leap, which can synergize very well with the Mosh, or the Wrath of Berserker. And Wrath of Berserker goes extremely well with the Warden's Cage. You know, if you can't run away from Sonya with Wrath of Berserker, she's going to hurt. She's going to put a hurt on you. So now, XP lead. Sonya coming in, looking for Bandit. There's the Blessed Shield to disengage. Warden's Cage just a little bit too late. And so you see Wrath and Warden's Cage used there to go for picks. Blessed Shield had to be used on the disengage. Blessed Shield, though, a relatively shorter cooldown, about the same cooldown as Wrath. So ultimately, it's a very important ult in terms of Warden's Cage used for effectively no value, with the Wrath and the Blessed Shield canceling out. That said, Sonya did look to flank onto the back line, backed up wisely when Alan Hicks came down to separate. There's Kael'thas with a big Gravity Lapse combo. Sound Barrier going to be used to make sure Kael'thas actually survives. Huge Mosh Pit going to be used. No interrupt coming in. Joshua Scott, though, has the Purifier Beam. Going to have to back up, but Alan Hicks is so low. Alan Hicks is going to be the first to fall, and that will be PrimeApes potentially gaining control of this objective. Task Wall trying to lock down Spartacus, left just enough of a gap for Artanis to get through there. And that will be Joanna going down. PrimeApes should be able to secure this Punisher. Bruiser camp, or excuse me, siege camp, gonna get picked up. These Khazras will push in. Looks like they want to take both in the mid lane and just slow down the push here. Sonya has gone top to clear up the Bruiser camp which has now lost its front wall in the top lane. Hiva goes in aggressively, pulls everyone into the root, and secures 2 kills, and it might be a third with Spartacus now with nowhere to go. What an amazing play there. Now Furia dropping the root in the perfect place, and Maiev just doing everything else. Going in, getting the entire enemy team, pulling them, saying, hey, stay off the grass, bitch. Getting 3 turnaround kills there, and now this immortal value will be lots and bunches. Fort is frozen, but now turns its attention back to this Punisher. Punisher down to about 15% health, so hard to imagine getting them too much more. And in fact, they are going to disengage this and maybe look to clean up, grab the siege camp in bottom lane. Sonya, though, going to equalize out the wall loss on top. Kel'Thas going to come up, try to clear this. Needs to be careful. Somehow did not get dismounted there by whirlwind damage. And now Bandit trying to get a flanking angle as Joanna is coming up. Does miss the Pyroblast. There's the Blessed Shield used. They want this engage. There's a Pyroblast, and they do get the Sonya. They committed 2 ults for it, but they did get the Sonya. So now what are they going to do for the next 30 seconds to make it worth those ults? That's the question. As the ults have a longer cooldown than 30 seconds, they need to do something. Meanwhile, though, they're actually just going to have to spend a lot of time reacting to bottom. Let's take a look at the XP lead right now. It's about half a level on the side of PrimeApes. So if LuBu can close that off the kill, I will say that's a worthwhile use of those ultimates. Rotating towards this top bruiser. Not going to be up for a while, but now looking at Artanis, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. As they secure the pick onto the top laner. That was actually kind of funny, the way that worked out. Alright, so, Archon used there. Artanis down for 20 seconds, so what are they going to get in this next 20 seconds that makes it worth the 60 seconds without that ult? That's the question. Looks like not a lot. There's not really any camps on the map to take. They're not invading this top bruiser, which is really the only thing. Looks like they will actually be able to get down to bottom. And so, okay, they'll get this fort. That's worth the kill. So actually, a lot more value off that kill. From PrimeApes than we saw from LuBu. But now LuBu saying, hey, if they're bottom, yoink, they're going to go ahead and take this camp. Although ETC going to spot this out, so the question now is, can they retreat? I would have liked to have seen ETC rotate up towards the right to have more of an angle to cut off the enemy team. Sonya trying to get onto Kel'Thas. There's the gravity lapse. Does some damage, but not really the living bomb needed to disengage. Now Alan Hicks is in a ton of trouble. Ironskin, I believe, is down. Going to retreat through that choke point, but the stun comes in off the Ancient Spear, and down goes Joanna. So 30 seconds here, but that said, this top fort is going to drop. But now this bruiser camp will just feed on walls. So this camp, actually with the minions, it's still going to get some good tower damage there. Purifier Beam, not sure why the Purifier Beam was used there. I just don't see the value of it. I don't know what that accomplished. It's something where if you have that Purifier Beam on a choke point, I think it gets a lot more value, and I'm not sure what that Purifier Beam in particular did. Maiev now is going to look like the gank is on, but uses the Warden's Cage as an escape. Now going to be able to blink away. Let's see if they guess where Maiev blinked. No, they haven't found her yet. Maiev is going to Hearth here and is going to get away, but that means she has to run back. But that whole time, skeletal minions being grabbed, and this is Arcane Punisher. Arcane Punisher used to be the strongest. By far, was an incredibly strong Punisher. Not as much anymore, as the focus of objectives now on this current patch really is how can you maximize siege damage. And the Frozen Punisher now easily the best because it shuts down towers. Mortar Punisher does a lot of siege damage, so also really strong. Arcane Punisher does do a lot of hero damage, but it doesn't really translate, I think, in this current setup. And you're seeing that, I mean, this is a 14-minute Punisher used to get, well, 13-minute Punisher, used to get a keep wall and nothing else, so not a ton of value there. That is the third Punisher of the game going down. So the Punishers will reset. We could get any of Frozen, Mortar, or Arcane on the next one. Now clearing up this top lane, which has been allowed to push with that every third wave catapult pressure. And, you know, that matters a lot. I mean, a single catapult will cause the lane to push. You know, you're going to see that here in mid. Like, look how much damage these front minions have taken. And this is all just off passive trade. It's just a massive difference. And so, you know, while you're not going to get a catapult stack... Oh, there's a big power slide into a huge mosh! And that might be the play they needed to maybe end this game. I would certainly say this would end the game in an older meta. It's harder to say if it does so now, but that is a 5-man team wipe. What are they going to do? They need to run down and at least grab this keep, and the pings are there. I don't know if they have time to end the game. This core, one of the stronger ones. The problem with this core is that the entire area around the core becomes a root CC, and there's nowhere to dodge. You do have the Sonya. You don't have Archon from Tassadar, though. Death timers are up in 15. I think they could do it if they wanted to. That said, ETC needing to back up from that damage. Sonya now wanting to push up. The rest of the team, I think they're going to go for this. Joanna, though, is up in 7, and they have to be mindful of these roots. I mean, you can see how hard it is to avoid it. Now here comes the Pyroblast. Tranquility going to be used, trying to get people out of there. Maiev now looks like the disengage. They grab 13%, but the chase is on. Living bombs spreading back and forth like crazy. And now, oh, the reverse amp slowing down Sonya. She is going to whirlwind into the back of the team. She's looking for that Rainer. Can she get the trade? If they can, maybe a re-engage. No, Sonya goes down. So perhaps staying a bit too long, and there you see it. It's just harder to end the game now, as Tassadar goes down as well. Only 13% onto the core, and now with the reverse amp slowing ETC, he's going to take some Purifier Beam damage. But will get away. Tassadar went down in that as well, something we failed to mention. My cat's meowing at me, so after this game, we will have to take a break before my second match. As I will be also casting Death and Delay versus World Hunger Avoidance team. Dad, what? Bruiser Camp can be stolen by LuBu, who do not have the level 20 advantage at the moment. But still able to bully because of the 5v3. And this is going to be a top Punisher, so a huge, huge advantage to the members of LuBu, as there is already a weak wall, only one turret left standing. Siege Camp going to be grabbed. They can't contest this because of the deaths. And you know, it's important to recognize the death timers don't spike really, really hard until level 19. So at that, they get the amount they increase by grows all the way up to level 20. But specifically from like level 18, I think it's something like you go to like, you know, low 40s to level 19, it's like low 50s to level 20, it's a minute or something like that. So you're getting 10-second spikes per level, and so even killing people at level 18, you're just not typically going to get enough time to end the game, especially given the current meta. And this will be LuBu looking for the swap onto Sonya, and John Cena's going to join onto the CC train. Chugga, chugga, choo, choo. Sonya, though, still actually going to be able to run away, but I don't think she'll survive the Pyroblast. Down she goes. Level 20s actually have not been picked yet by all the members of LuBu. Looks like it's going to be the extended Flame Strike from Kael'thas, trying to get an extra safe poke here, but this is now a 4v5. There are katas lining up in the bottom. If these are ignored, 4 katas will take the core quickly. That said, 2 katas getting distracted by a healing well, so that buys LuBu a lot of precious time. They do send Artanis back to clear up these catapults all the same. But now they need to look to end the game here 4v4 rather than 5v4. John Cena comes in, root combo onto Frozen, power slides out. There's the huge chain. Sound barrier going to be used to mitigate out any damage, though. The Purifier Beam trying to get some damage out. Doesn't really do anything, but this core is falling, and this Punisher still extraordinarily healthy. 60% and falling. Bless Shield used to buy some more time. Joanna very low, but Raynor needs to be the focus here. I don't know why they're focusing other heroes. And down goes the core. And PrimeApes lose that game, I think, a lot in the same way that they lost game 1. Just had a lead, but all it took was one fight going bad. Sonya then getting swaps. They have one less defender against that Punisher, and that's going to be it. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and give that series 2-1 to the members of LuBu. PrimeApes, really good showing by them. I've been very impressed by what I've seen from PrimeApes so far this season. I think they're a team that can make a playoff run, but LuBu currently just with that extra edge they need. C East is C East. You competitive. You competitive. I don't sincerely know who the best team in C East is. I don't think anyone does. Already C East really good about getting their flex matches done, but they've done so many flex matches that there's already like triangles where team A beat B, beat C, beat A, where I don't know which of those teams is the best. But we have two contenders coming up. It's going to be World Hunger Avoidance Team versus Death and Delay. I think both are contenders for the best team in the division. And we'll be back with their match, which was missed last week. No one casted, so exclusive cast here. In about 10 minutes, I need to feed some kitties. So we'll stay. I will kill the stream for now,